So I'm going to the Pelicans game tonight. It's like the first one I've been to in a few years. I'm with my good friend Jordan here. He's a huge basketball fan. I'm not really the biggest basketball fan. I'm a big Celtics fan. He's a big Knicks fan, but they're in the playoff hunt, so should be a good game. You know, if they win here, they get a chance to make it. If they lose, then they're probably not going to make it.
It's a big game.
So the good part is tickets were only like $10 a person, which was pretty cheap, but we had to go pick up a couple of Jordan's friends and we're pretty late for the game. It's already the second quarter. We've already missed a good part of it. By the time we get in there, it'll be almost over, but we're gonna enjoy it and just try to have fun. Well, good morning. Yesterday the game was a lot of fun. You know, the Pelicans were up by a lot pretty much the whole time. It was kind of an enormous blowout. Like they were up by 20 or 30 pretty much the whole game. So it wasn't really the most interesting game. It was a little boring, but at the same time we got there pretty early. We didn't really miss as much as I thought we were going to miss when we were going in. We got there like the middle of the second quarter. So it was definitely worth the 10 bucks or whatever for the ticket, and it was definitely a cool experience to be able to walk around and explore the stadium. I got the chance to do that because the game was such a blowout, and there really weren't too many people there, so we were able to move around really easily. Like we changed our seats a couple of different times and it really wasn't a problem at all. So it was a lot of fun to be able to check out the stadium and get a few different perspectives and take some video. I had a good time. I'm pretty tired this morning. It ended up being, I guess you could say, a bit of a late night. After the game, we went over to a dive bar that also serves Eastern European and Polish food. This is not something that's uncommon in New Orleans. Like, New Orleans has these random bars that look like holes in the wall, but then they have like an amazing menu of food in the back that isn't necessarily just like burgers and fries and normal bar food. A lot of the time it's like really random things like Polish food. And this place has that. I think it's the only Polish restaurant in the city, but we got the chance to try a bunch of things. I had borscht for the first time. I never had that before, and we got like a sample platter. We kind of decided that we weren't going to buy food in the game because at the stadium itself it's just way too expensive and not very good, so we just waited until after the game and then went somewhere cheaper, and this ended up being a lot cheaper and a lot better. I have had Polish food before. It wasn't my first time. Antine is Polish, so she's made it for me a couple of times. Kielbasa, I've got the chance to try it before, but it was really good, and I wish I could have shared it with you guys, but all my camera batteries were dead, so that's a problem that I've been having recently. My camera batteries have been dying, so I definitely need to get some new ones at some point in the near future. But it was pretty cool, like I said. And then we came back to my friend's house and got to hang out there for a while. We were playing some video games, and then I came over to the Walmart, and that's where I stayed last night. I'm always pretty surprised by this Walmart. What's interesting is that it's not a 24/7 Walmart. Last night when I pulled in, it was probably around 2 a.m. and there was like no one in this parking lot. No RVs a lot of the time. Usually it's just me. I don't stay here that often, but my good friend lives out here, so when I come back, if we're up pretty late hanging out, like I'll just come over here because it's so easy. What's surprising is that there is always a police officer in this parking lot, 24/7. There's one here right now patrolling, and there was one last night when I got here, and the police officers never give any of the RVers or van dwellers any trouble. And I guess it's because the Walmart does allow overnight parking. I think I've even checked with the manager at some point in the past, and it's listed on all the websites as being okay, but it's something that you don't see every day, to see a cop here constantly, and they're there specifically just for security and not for harassing the people staying in their vehicles. I don't know, I guess it's possible that I've just been really, really lucky so far, and have had nice police officers who have decided not to give trouble to any of the van dwellers or RVers while they're here. But I've stayed here, like I said, quite a few times before over the past couple of years, and the fact that I've never had an issue, I don't know, I don't think I'm that lucky. I think that the city just doesn't have any sort of ordinance against overnight parking right now, which is a really good thing. You know, New Orleans is pretty lax on their laws. Like, this area is pretty laid back for the most part, so maybe that's part of it. Hopefully it stays that way for a long time, and you know, no one really abuses it here. Like, I've never seen anyone stay here for more than a night or so. You know, I've never seen someone stay here for like weeks and weeks on end, and so that's a good thing. And there are always like school buses and random other vehicles parked in the parking lot overnight. It's a huge parking lot, so we'll see how it goes. You know, I have my doubts. I think that eventually it'll get outlawed based on my experience with other Walmarts in really urban environments. New Orleans is a really big city, so the fact that there aren't any problems is good for now, but I'm definitely skeptical about whether or not it'll stay that way. And like I said, I'm always surprised by the fact that the Walmarts here allow overnight parking. This is Lafreniere Park. It's in Metairie, which is a suburb of New Orleans, not too far outside the city. I mean, it borders the city, and it's a really beautiful park. I didn't even know this place existed until just recently. Like, I always knew that it was here on the map, but I had never taken the time to come over here and explore until just a couple of days ago, and I'm really glad that I did. It's an amazing park. They've got this bridge that takes you off to an island, which is like almost in the middle of the man-made lake, and it's really something else. There's all these birds flying around, tons of different types, really beautiful, and also other wildlife in the water, turtles. I bet you could even find an alligator if you're lucky. And there's also a lot of roosters and chickens as well, which is a little weird, but other than that, it's pretty cool. I will say, if you have any kind of fear of birds or anything like that, this probably isn't the best place to be hanging out. These birds are pretty aggressive and they'll fly really close to your head, and I've had a few almost knock me out already. I wonder how many people get pooped on by birds here on a daily basis. I'm thinking it's gotta be a pretty significant amount. In addition to coming over to the park to show you guys around a little bit, I'm also here because I'm working on the next video. I'm going to be doing an updated tour of the Element. I've had a lot of folks suggest that I do that, and I haven't really done a tour video in about a year and a half at this point. Made a lot of changes to the inside of the Element, so that'll be the next video. That'll probably be at some point towards the end of next week. So I accidentally ran out of time while shooting that tour video there. I'm gonna have to go back and finish it at some point later on this evening. This afternoon, I'm meeting up with a client of mine, someone that I've been working with for a while, and we're gonna be shooting a different video. My SD card is gonna be awful to go through later on this evening. I'm shooting way too many videos today. But this video is gonna be like a promo style commercial for him and for his business. We've done quite a few of these in the past before, but I did just get a new lens, which I've actually been vlogging with for this entire video here, and for the tour video. I'm going to use it, and then also for this commercial thing that we're about to shoot, and I'm excited to use it in like a different commercial style setting as well. I'm really having a lot of fun with it though. It's a pretty cool little lens. So I'm going to go take care of that right now, and then I'll check in with you guys later. And we're back in the park. It's been a long day, a lot of shooting video. Still have to finish doing this tour video here before the sun goes down, and I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time behind the computer editing late tonight and all day tomorrow. Fortunately, the weather looks pretty terrible the next few days. It's going to be raining and miserable, so I won't feel too bad about being stuck inside behind the computer. Thanks for watching, guys. Before ending the vlog, I do have one new Patreon pledge to thank. Roddy Hibbard, thank you so much for joining the Patreon team. Your support will keep this journey alive. I'll talk to y'all in the next video.